Starting goalies brought to you by your New England Audi dealers. Experience the new Audi A3 with legendary Audi Quattro all-wheel drive today. Carter Hutton went to UMass Lowell. His numbers don't exactly jump off the page at you, but here he is in the National Hockey League, and he gets to start in what should be a relatively familiar building for him. At the other end of the ice, Tuukka Rask in his last 4 games, just 1 win to show for it, despite a 2.16 goals against average and a .929 save percentage. It's all about goal support, or a lack thereof, that the Bruins have not provided Rask so far this season. The game is on. Nashville was able to spread out the minutes last night, but it is a team that loves to play a physical, up-tempo game nonetheless.
Yeah, and if you look at the numbers, even their fourth unit as far as their forward lines go, everybody in double figures. If you add up the minutes for the 3 different pairs, expect Josi and Weber to play a lot. They combined for about 45 minutes. But the other 2 pairs are right around 37 and 40 minutes, so that spread it out pretty good, knowing you got to play back-to-back with travel.
Yeah, and the players last week when we were in Nashville were telling us that they love the in-your-face style that has been Peter Laviolette's trademark, regardless of how he's had to arrange the personnel that he's had to work with.
Now think about when the Bruins were down in Nashville just over a week ago. The defense really pinched in the offensive zone. So defensemen, be aware. Find your wingers, and wingers, if you're going to be up high, you got to win those battles to make sure that puck at least gets into the neutral zone, or if not, have that centerman close support to make breakout plays.
By up high, you're meaning close to the defensive blue line as opposed to down by the hash mark.
Right, that's the decision that that winger has to make. If you're going to come real deep to discourage the defenseman from pitching, the minute you get that pass, you'll have room to get your feet moving. If the defenseman does come down, maybe you'll have a little bit more time to make a play to the centerman or across the ice to the other winger. But if it is out high, if you decide to be out high, and if the coaches say, look, I want you to make those battles out by the blue line, win those battles if you're a winger.
Matt Bartkowski fires on Rene. There I go. Hutton. Didn't take long, did it? 38 seconds. Fires on Hutton, and he makes the glove stop. Hutton, I ought to be able to tell the difference. He's about half the size of Rene.
Well, they all look the same size from this distance.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that guy sitting right there. Unless something really goes off the tracks, he is so far ahead of the field to win the Vezina Trophy as the NHL's best goalie this year. This shot from Louis Eriksson goes off a leg of Roman Josi and up into the protected netting. Olli Jokinen has Eric Nystrom and Gabriel Bourque as his wingers. Bartkowski throws the puck into the pile, and it bounces to the far boards. Bourque is there. Taps to Shea Weber. Weber tape to Nystrom. He skates it up to the red line and flips it into Seidenberg's corner. Bartkowski back to pick it up back of the goal. Indirect rattles off. Kelly skates. Soderberg the self pass. Deeks around Jokinen, comes laterally. Eriksson holds his charge to stay onside. Seidenberg with purpose, and Hutton sticks it to the corner. Chara back at the blue line off Eriksson's stick. The Bruins changing out man by man.
Not sure if that's what Kelly had exactly in mind, but it was effective. Gets a piece of that puck on the pinch down by Weber, and it's just a little chip pass that allows Soderberg to pick it up. Aggressive forecheck. They'll come with 2 men on the forecheck, and as a defenseman, you got to get to a puck, take a look. Bartkowski doesn't go for the wraparound. Feels like he has a direct pass, and Kelly doesn't get it clean. He was looking to chip it out off the wall, deflects off his skate, but Soderberg's in a good position. That's what we're talking about. If you have that centerman in close proximity, you can make plays there with a pitching defenseman.
Mike Ribeiro gets tossed out. No, Tony Siricola signaled, but I guess it wasn't that signal. So here's Hamilton to Smith to Bergeron. Weber controls, steers it out to the neutral zone. Chara draws Craig Smith, who had a couple of goals last night. Bergeron fires wide of Hutton. Marchand on the far side draws Weber, sends it low for Smith, can't get it through Josi. Smith lifts Josi's stick. Bergeron turns to the backhand. Ribeiro takes it away. Bergeron wins it to Smith to drive, and Josi, a pretty courageous block as he went down and took it in the upper body. Marchand with a steal. Bergeron closes. Marchand scores! Bruins force a turnover, and Marchand scores where Mama keeps the gluten-free cookies.
And when Marchand moves the puck a little quicker, he has times when he hangs on to it, probably a stride too long, maybe 2 strides too long. But when he moves it quickly, he knows he's going to get it back in a good spot, especially when you play with a guy like Bergeron, even Riley Smith. Good back check pressure in the neutral, in the offensive zone, frees that turnover on a bouncing puck, and there's that quick movement. Smith's going to go to the front of the net. Bergeron plays a little catch with Marchand, and then Marchand's quick release high over the blocker. Textbook.
Calle Järnkrok, 23-year-old Swedish rookie. We have some Swedish followers on social media, and they pointed out that Järnkrok's name literally translates to iron hook. This is offside. Now let's go back and have a look at Marchand's ninth of the season.
Well, it's good offensive zone time, first of all, by this line. And when they're playing the best, they get a lot of O-zone time. And that little pass right there by Marchand, there are times when he's not feeling it, and all players go through this, where they hang on to the puck an extra stride or stride and a half, and now that quick give and go disappears. But not that time. And even though Marchand's in the middle of the ice, you think, wow, good area to shoot it. No, move it to Bergeron. You'll get it right back, and it forces the goaltender to have to go right to left, left to right to try to stay square, and that opens up more holes.
Cunningham shields the puck and gives to Krejci. Krejci over the line with Krug rushing the net. Lucic all the way forward to the goal line. Lucic holds the puck against Seth Jones's pressure. Miller throws the puck through both corners. Jones is there. Lucic finishes his check. Fisher digs it around. Matt Cullen, 17th season in the NHL. Number 17, Milan Lucic takes it away. Victor Bartley. We didn't see him play last week when the Bruins were in Nashville. Bartley taking the place of Anton Volchenkov, who hasn't played since he left that game after blocking a shot. Josi down the half boards. Works to the end wall. Wilson at the post. Couldn't chip it past Tuukka Rask. Colin Wilson wins it again, but Krug is in front of the goal and he skates it out. Gives to Soderberg right over the spoke B. Weber checks Soderberg. Josi pokes the puck ahead with possession for Nashville. Hooking is signaled. The Bruins will go on the power play.
It starts in the defensive zone. Miller has the puck. He has no play up the wall because Eriksson was down low to help out. So he eats the puck, waits for support. The puck squirts to the front of the net. And Krug just had patience. He's protecting the house, stays in front of the net. Now he gets his feet moving. Short little pass to Soderberg up the middle. And Soderberg looks like he's going to lose the puck. Then he's got a chance to get it back. And when he tries to make that backhand feed to Kelly, that's where the hook occurs. Power play stats are brought to you by EcoStores Technologies.
Hamilton up to the red line to Patrice Bergeron. Soderberg in the middle. Here's Eriksson, but the puck bounces over his stick. Taps it back to Smith. Indirect to Eriksson. Now into the corner to Soderberg with Hamilton at the far dot. Uncovered. Smith walks in. Fakes. Now gives to Hamilton. Back to Smith. Over to Soderberg. The big triangle. The shot saved by Hutton. Eriksson crossed the goal mouth, but Hamilton couldn't control it. Had to take it on the bounce. Hamilton walks in, and the wrister is deflected wide. Soderberg takes Smith's saucer pass. Gives to Bergeron, top of the circle. Now Smith chips it over to Eriksson on the perimeter, working against Roman Josi. Soderberg holds. Bergeron is in the high slot, now goes in front of the goal. Smith tees it up, gives it over to Hamilton, but the puck jumps over his stick, and Shea Weber strokes it down the ice.
Got to keep the sponsors happy, Jack. EcoStore Technologies. You got to straighten me out when I make a mistake like that.
Yeah, well, that's 2 for you and about 600 for me so far this season, so I'm the clubhouse leader. Yeah, that is Carter Hutton in goal. So a really jagged start to this game. Not a whole lot of flow going in it yet. The Bruins trying to push it ahead to a 2-0 lead. At home, up by 1. For the Bruins in their first 34 games, they are 2 for 8. That is not a whole lot of opportunities leading by 1. Chara turning away from Gabriel Bourque. Krug over to Krejci. Krejci's drive into Järnkrok's legs. Marchand spills it over to Krejci. Krug to Krejci. The wrist shot skips in on Hutton, and he hangs on with 14 seconds to go in Jokinen's penalty.
Well, the first power play unit had it working pretty nice, and they worked the puck out high. Riley Smith had a couple of pump fakes, couldn't get a shot through. Good stick-to-itiveness by David Krejci after he had his shot blocked. They finally work it side to side back on that back diagonal. It's Krejci the point. He's got Chara position, trying to take away Hutton's eyes.
Krejci wins the draw, back to Krug. Along the line to Chara. Cross ice, Krejci's wrist shot flutters wide as Josi got out to make the block. 3 seconds to go in the power play. Krug holds Chara. Gives it top of the circle of Marchand looking for the doorstep tip, but it goes wide. Jokinen is out of the box. Krug rings the post on the glove side of Hutton. Getting good traffic in front of the Nashville netminder.
Claude Julien's worked real hard trying to get the attention of Milan Lucic, how to work the front of the net. That time he was in a real good spot. A wrist shot from almost 65 feet by Krug. Hutton never sees it.
Matt Fraser pulls up at the dot. Cross ice to Seidenberg. His drive goes off Seth Jones. Campbell corrals it along the boards. Jones working him over, and Ribeiro goes back to pick it up. Gives the puck to Bartley. Indirect for Craig Smith. The U of Wisconsin product rifles it off the high glass. Bartley rips it down through the corner. Seidenberg jams against Smith. Paille reverses. Fraser goes after it. Jones keeps it in the attacking zone, and then it bounces off Fraser back to center. Paille trickles it to Campbell. Campbell reverse to Paille, the backhand. Hutton sticks it aside. Jones sees Paille coming, and he sprays the puck to the corner. Chara tries to get it deep, but can't. Now Ribeiro carries to the Boston line, waits for reinforcements, and dumps in.
That's a good decision by Dougie Hamilton. Chara Ribeiro was all by himself because of the line change. Attack him in the neutral zone.
Chris Kelly trickles the puck to the Nashville side of the red line. Matthias Ekholm around the left wing boards. Kelly turns and chops a bouncer into the opposite corner. Eriksson pursuing against Ekholm. He makes the safe pass ahead to James Neal. Neal the shift on Krug, gives to Colin Wilson. He closes and scores! The Bruins let Nashville spring into the Boston zone, and Colin Wilson stays hot. It's 1-1.
Bruins just kind of overplaying the middle of the ice. The Wilson's going to have too much room. Can't even say he's coming down the left wing lane. He's kind of drifted to the middle. Little step inside move by Neal. And even though the Bruins, you see 3 black jerseys, with Soderberg being the 3rd one on the back pressure. But that little hesitation move, and now Miller has to come way over. He probably could have stayed more in the direction of Wilson and forced Neal to hang on to the puck and allow Krug to re-attack and get his footwork back in order. There really wasn't a whole lot of danger there, but the minute Miller comes across too far, that opens up that easy pass to Wilson. And what a nice finish on the back end. Top shelf.
Soderberg off the boards. Miller cannot keep it on the line. So it's 1-1 with about 12 minutes to go in the first. Brad Marchand has his 6th, but it's all tied up. Oh yeah, it's easy being on camera. Wilson from Neal and Ekholm. I may have misspoken on Marchand's goal. It's a 9, not a 6. The 9 is the one with the little circle thing at the top. The 6 is the one with the little.
Yeah, it was raining most of the day today when I was playing golf, and I had that problem a couple times. Couldn't tell if it was a 9 or a 6 iron.
Yeah, with me, it's real easy on the scorecard. They're all 8s. Snowmen in July. Lucic tries to ram the puck deep, and it rides off Shea Weber's stick. You know, Shea Weber's a guy who's scored so many points with voters that he's consistently in the top 3 or 4 in the Norris Trophy voting. But somebody always seems to have a more spectacular season. And this year, Weber is playing a lot of games where maybe he's not getting noticed as much, and that might be because he might be playing the most solid defense that he's ever played. And we're talking about a great, great player.
Yeah, you think back to the pairing when he was with Suter. You know, that was a pretty nice pair. Now he's got Yossi, and Yossi's really developed into a big minutes guy, getting better every year, every game it seems like, and more reliable, and they're a good pair together. But you're right, this Weber's just, he's a stud. No other way to describe it. Great player.
Craig Cunningham takes the space and chips it in behind Bartley. Seth Jones takes the hit from Cunningham. Bartley ahead for Philip Forsberg, who runs into Dougie Hamilton's check. Bergeron on the far side, and a slash is signaled here.
Well, Bruins get a power play opportunity. Second time here in the period. Seth Jones will go to the box. A little too forceful with the chop down on Bergeron's stick. Breaks it right in half. Right in front of the official. They deem that a slashing penalty. See if Boston can reclaim the lead with a little special teams goal. We talked about where they are at the top of the broadcast with their special teams, 19th ranking in both PP and PK. Those numbers need to improve.
Smith can't seal off the boards, and that usually costs about 15 seconds to a team on the power play when it has to bring it all the way up ice. Louis Eriksson speeds over the line. Here's Bergeron past the hash marks off a skate. And Mike Fisher with an outstanding effort to chop the puck down to Rask's end. Quick change for Nashville, but the quick up from Rask to Bergeron. Slips it back to Hamilton. He draws Jokinen. Smith to Hamilton at the top of the umbrella. Eriksson returns to Hamilton. The wrist shot leaves a dent on the end boards. Bergeron can't get the puck to cooperate with him. Looked as if he wanted to lift it, and it slid off the heel of his blade. Power play brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. It's your town. Let's go Bruins, the chant from the TD Garden crowd. David Krejci gets over the red line, wires it off the left wing corner boards. Marchand goes after it. Lucic right there to support against Matt Cullen, who kicks the puck free. Chara's also over there. Torrey Krug into space. Krejci scores! David Krejci with a rocket, his first goal since his return, and the Bruins are back ahead, using the power play to their advantage.
Well, the Bruins do a nice job. When Krejci's coming through the neutral zone, he really doesn't have an option, so he has to wire it around, which means you have to get the puck back. Puck retrieval. 3 Bruins down there, 3 Predators. Chara frees it up. Lucic wisely rips it up the boards because he knows Krug's going to be at that point. And because you have 3 Predators on one side of the ice on the overload, that's going to open up plenty of space on the opposite side. David Krejci does not score a ton of goals from outside the tops of the circles, but this is a one-timer, a rising drive. Chara trying to get back to the front of the net. Looked like Hutton got a piece of it with the glove, but enough on it to overpower him.
Krejci's 4th of the season. Mike Ribeiro through the corner. Colin Wilson picks it up. Cunningham stabs it ahead to Krejci. Neal can't chop it through the red line traffic. Now goes back to retrieve with Lucic nearby. Victor Bartley slides it back to Seth Jones. Back to Bartley. Hamilton steps up. Bartley goes around him. Bartley tries to slip it middle, and Krejci knocks it out of there. Lucic a couple of strong strides to open up space to get to the puck first. Krejci over the line trying to slip it back to Lucic. Neal takes the deflected puck and curls back of his own goal. Bergeron forces Bartley to turn to the boards. Now across to Jones. Seth Jones' shoulder fake. The puck bounces up to the line. Jones hammers it in deep. Cullen tosses it around. Taylor Beck on the far side. He also didn't play against the Bruins when they met a week ago tonight in Nashville. Marchand tries to stab it through past. Ellis cannot do that. Ellis taps through the high slot. Nobody home. Seidenberg picks up the puck, bounces it up the wall. Ekholm shot off Bartkowski's skates. Marchand takes the Ellis hit to clear the puck. Back across the defensive zone to Ekholm. Järnkrok returns it. It bounces around outside the blue line. Järnkrok gets around Campbell and scores. Calle Järnkrok busts one through Tuukka Rask. And from Rask's body language, looks as if he'd like that one back.
It was right at him. One of those shots that's right at Tuukka Rask, and it goes right through the 6-hole. Between the chest protector and the blocker, under the arm, squeezes through. But that's what Nashville does. They compete. A couple of pinches on each side of the ice. The Bruins are just forced to chip the puck into the neutral zone. Järnkrok's going to just come right through Campbell, jump on that loose puck, fire it through Seidenberg. And that's a save you got to have.
Three consecutive shots on goal have gone into the goal in this game. Smith turns and fires. It's off Hamilton's leg, but good numbers for Nashville. Filip Forsberg can't make anything of it. Ribeiro was wide open next to the post. Hamilton fires forward. It's off Eriksson's forehand and skids in wide of Hutton. Josi turns the goal, but Soderberg's waiting for him. Weber off the boards. Filip Forsberg steers it right to Hamilton. Hamilton throws it cross corner. But good teams tend to be resilient, and Nashville, after allowing the first goal this season, which it does a lot, by the way, 22nd in the league at keeping its opponent from scoring first. But Nashville coming into tonight 11-7-1, a 605 point percent. Krejci to the dot, the shot saved by Hutton. The wraparound, the backhand, but Hutton has his skate against the post to kill it. 2-2 already in this one. Nashville shaking out the cobwebs after having played in Ohio last night and traveling. Tonight's key matchup brought to you by Honda. Start something special on a great deal on a Honda. Filip Forsberg leading the rookie scoring race. 13 goals, 19 assists for 32 points. Brick, you got a good look at him last week. What do you like about his game?
Well, I like his hockey sense, number one. He's got a pretty good idea on how to play with and without the puck. And most European players kind of fall into that category. Certainly European trade. But it's the consistency of his game that you have to admire. You know, you're going to have peaks and valleys, whether you're a veteran guy or a rookie. But most rookies, they hit walls. Sometimes those walls last for a long time. Others, if you can avoid them or minimize them, then you can be highly effective guys as a young player. That's the category he fits into.
That's an interesting continuing discussion with European players about the way young players are developed. It's games, 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 and more games in North America. And that's upside down from the European model. That might be an instigator subject one of these weeks. We're doing that tonight. Instigator. Jokinen off the boards. Bartley fires it right through the goal mouth. It caroms all the way back to Seth Jones. Jones sends it around the wall. Smith takes the Bartley hit. Gives it back to Miller. Jokinen finishes his check on Miller. Krug lobs it out, but the Bruins give up possession, not making a play out of their defensive zone. Now they're going to try to change as Nystrom races into the zone. The backhand into Seidenberg, who gives him a pretty good bump. Soderberg throws the backhand to the near side. Smith can't pry it past Bartley. Bartkowski sees space and he sprints into it. Now going 1 against 4 as the Bruins change out behind his rush. Bartkowski takes a big hit from Bartley, who's got a good solid set of shoulders on him. Bartley into the middle of his own zone. There's Järnkrok. Cullen slides it back for Seth Jones, galloping into the Boston zone, and Eriksson taps the puck away just as Jones was teeing it up for a big blast. He looked a little bit off balance as he set it up. Taylor Beck along the end wall, and Soderberg takes the puck for Boston. Carl Soderberg flips it over Eriksson's reach. Ellis D to Ekholm. Ekholm tends to fly under the radar for Nashville. A good, solid, conservative defenseman. 5:24 to go first period. Bruins goal scorers Marchand and Krejci, Wilson and Järnkrok have answered for Nashville. You know what the optimists are saying, Brick? All this rain is going to make for a perfect surface because this season, Arbella Insurance presents Brick's Backyard Rink Contest.
You're right, my little elf. I'm looking for the best backyard rink in New England. Visit NESN.com/rinks to upload a short video that shows off your rink. When I pick the best rink, I'll show up and play some hockey with you and your friends. Enter now at NESN.com/rinks.
Nice. Was that a converted lawnmower? Nice video. And thanks for setting him in. Seidenberg with a big hit on Neal. Krejci bouncing it over to Bartkowski to Lucic. He tosses the puck into Weber's corner. Josi on the diagonal, and Cunningham jumps on his back. Krejci wiggles the puck back to Seidenberg. He wrists it around. Josi and Cunningham now in quite a confrontation. This one dings off the apron of the goal. Lucic to Bartkowski, wrists it toward net. Cunningham gets a piece of it, keeps it alive for Lucic, who whacks the one-hander into the corner. Weber spins away from Cunningham and meets Lucic face to face. Neal out to center now. Josi gains the Boston line. Mike Fisher with it, looking for Josi. It rolls all the way around, and Marchand will take it and turn it into transition. 2-on-1 against Ekholm with Smith, but the pass doesn't connect. Fisher brings it up past the blue line. Smith through the legs for Marchand, but Ekholm was wise to it.
Looked like it had to be an aerial pass from Marchand. It just never landed in time for Smith.
Ekholm chases deep in his own zone. Works it D to D. Ryan Ellis. Marchand with the takeaway. His shot off Ekholm. Ekholm gives him a slam, but Marchand stays on his skates. Smith to Marchand looking for Bergeron between two checkers. Ribeiro chips it over to Craig Smith and gets a nifty return pass. 3-on-2 over the line. Curl and drive. Ribeiro's shot. A save by Rask. Forsberg back to Jones. The bomb goes wide and spins crazily out to the blue line. Bartley tapping it in, but the Bruins clear. Marchand, the follow-through, gets past the red line. No icing, and Boston changes. Jones has Jokinen straight ahead. Slings it around the boards. Fraser and Miller on the near side. Fraser out to center, but Bartley takes possession back for the Predators. Gets the D-to-D pass from Seth Jones and then returns it to him. He dekes around Gregory Campbell to Bartley over the Boston line. Bartley closes, fires on Rask. He sticks it to the end boards. Gabriel Bourque against Miller. Jokinen tries to rake it out of their skates. Miller shoves it along with the skate blade. Bourque stabs at it. Jokinen takes a try to free the puck. Paille goes in, plays the body against Jones. Jokinen taps to Bourque near the goal. Krug keeps him forward to the goal line. Jones backs up and wrists it all the way through, and Rask makes a reflex left leg save at the very last moment. Krug without a stick. Paille also a left-handed shot. Perhaps didn't recognize that he had a defenseman without a stick, and he makes the play out.
It looked like that shot from Jones deflected off Campbell out high. That's why you saw the reaction by Rask.
Kelly to the goal line. Bartkowski's backhand through the slot. Soderberg, the tight turn to get around Beck, throws it into the feet in front. Eriksson can't fish it out of there. And Bartkowski rifles one into the crease. Hutton clamps down.
Feeling lucky this holiday season? Pick up the all-new 2014 Bruins Instant Ticket for your chance to spread some cheer by instantly winning $50,000 or one of 5 Bruins On Ice challenges. This $2 ticket is also the perfect way to surprise everyone on your list. To play, visit licensed retailers across Massachusetts.
Now, one of our good friends who's an off-ice official here for games at TD Garden when the NHL is playing is Grant Finkel. And he wanted us to make sure that, there's Grant right in the center of the screen. Wanted to make sure we wished his mother Dorothy a happy 93rd birthday. Good work out of you, Dorothy. Chris Kelly over the face-off dot against Mike Fisher. Colin Wilson has a goal tonight. He's got Weber across the front. Dekes and shoots it off Seidenberg. Now Bartkowski skates it out to center. Over the red line. The pass deflects Kelly. Wipes the backhand down to the corner. Eriksson against Weber. Josi takes the puck. Indirect for Neal. Off the toe of the blade to Wilson. Couldn't curl and drag around Lucic. Eriksson tosses it right to Weber. Hard into Fischer's skates, but he digs it out of there. Hamilton wraps it through Josi's stick. The Preds will change out their D-pair. Hamilton holds. The diagonal to Krejci. Krejci works against Ryan Ellis. Tosses the backhand middle too far forward for Lucic. But Krejci has it. Can't get the puck to sit flat. Philip Forsberg, the brilliant rookie, comes up the off wing. Closes, sends it across the front for Ribeiro off the apron of the goal. Chara into Lucic's skates. He whirls it across the defensive zone and out to center. Final minute of the first period. Kind of a crazy period here. Brick, 4 goals and a lot of stops and starts.
Yeah, and a couple of plays that have cost both teams, uncharacteristic of both teams when they're playing well.
Taylor Beck muscles it forward. Marchand on the diagonal deprives him of the open lane. So Seidenberg will take it as Nashville gets fresh legs out there here in the final minute. Seidenberg, the hard backhand. Bergeron couldn't accelerate it past Josi. Matt Cullen over the line has Beck with him, and Järnkrok in the high slot, but Bergeron does the defensive work, and Eriksson comes forward with the puck. Self-pass behind Josi. Weber is there, holds off Eriksson. Less than 15 seconds to go in the period. Weber safely to the corner. Soderberg gets it loose to Eriksson. Eriksson couldn't muscle through Weber. Comes off the boards to Miller along the line for Seidenberg with 2 seconds to go. And Gabriel Bourque knocks it out to center. They'll go to the rooms tied 2-2.
Yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag, I'd say, Jack. For both teams, the Bruins had the lead twice. They scored on a power play, which is what you're looking for when you had a pair of them in that first period. And the only disappointment, really, I think, is the fact that the Bruins give up a quick goal and a bad decision to tie it at 1 in their coverage by their defense pair when Krug kind of got beat to the outside, and then Miller overcommits, and then Tuukka Rask giving up a soft goal, which you don't see a ton of. So those were the disappointments in the period in reference to the mixed bag.
Side Andy Brickley with Garrett Austin at ice level and our Nesson production crew. I'm Jack Edwards. It's 2-2 as we head to period 2 at TD Garden. The road ahead brought to you by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Visit sullivantire.com/road ahead. And full marks to the National Hockey League and its Players Association, who for quite a while now have agreed that there are more important things than cashing in and making the turnstiles spin. The league shuts down for the 24th, 25th, and 26th of December every single season, and because of that, the Bruins, by the collective bargaining agreement, cannot leave for Columbus until Saturday morning. So that's an out and back trip. And logistically, that's quite a challenge. But teams that travel on that first day after the Christmas break have done pretty well. Brad Marchand got the Bruins going, but in the second period, Brick, teams have got to look out for the Nashville Predators, because Peter Laviolette's teams this year, for the Nashville Predators, their mode has been to win the game in the second period and then just shorten it by taking it away from you in the third. Game summary brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. And to back that up, Nashville is number 4 in the league in second period goal differential at +8. Boston is number 22 at -5. Perhaps most telling, Nashville is number 1 in fewest second period goals allowed. They've allowed 17 in 32 games. Pittsburgh's second with 24. There is a bigger gap between number 1 and number 2 in fewest second period goals allowed than there is between number 2 and number 17. That is a significant statistical variation, and it's not all Pekka Rinne. This team wins games in the second period. The Bruins have really got to turn it up a notch.
Yeah, and one theory might be that, you know the way Nashville's going to play. They're going to come hard. They're going to pinch. And you almost not survive the first period, but you gear up for it. You expect it. You game plan for it. And then when you handle it, because Predators, like you say, have not been a great first period team, like great front runners, are getting the lead, however you want to describe it. But then if you relax in the second period, and they're going to take it up another notch, and still pressure.
Turns it over to Forsberg, and he guns one wide, and there's an example of it. A little bit of slop in the Boston end, and Forsberg leaving a dent in the end boards. Marchand hits the brakes. The pass deflects and comes back to center. Dougie Hamilton on the long diagonal, beating Craig Smith to the puck. Shea Weber rifles it in. But also Brickett's that ability that Laviolette has truly to roll 4 and 3. The personnel doesn't matter. He has faith in every one of the 18 guys who get to dress for any particular game, that they can be out there in any situation. Bartkowski scoots around the cage, gets away from Colin Wilson, beats James Neal out to the red line, feeds Krejci with Cunningham in the high slot. Cunningham sets up directly in front of Hutton now. Bartkowski bunts the puck low to Lucic. He swings it around. Wilson there before Seidenberg can get down the boards. It pops up in the air. Seidenberg holds off Wilson, wins the puck battle. Lucic goes to the front, but he gets tied up with Ryan Ellis, and the puck slides through. Bartkowski right into Fisher's legs. Fisher hammers it around through both corners. Wilson coming out against Seidenberg, gets it deep. Nashville gets fresh legs on the ice. Soderberg can't pick up Bartkowski's feed out of the Boston zone. Seth Jones gets it directly back from Yarncrook. Let's go Bruins, the chant from the crowd. Late filling because of horrible traffic, not only in Boston, but throughout the Northeast today. Soderberg flips the puck off the wall into center ice. Jones curls away from Erickson. Center circle to Yarncrook. Get a delayed call. And what is
34 Boston, 2 minutes holding.
Okay, Soderberg got caught holding on to somebody. It must have been away from the play, because I didn't see anything going on right around the puck.
Yeah, it was Kelly and Erickson that created the turnover. We're going to try and start a breakout out of the defensive zone, and it wasn't until they carried the puck for 2 or 3 strides that the whistle finally went. Soderberg right there with that free hand going against Yarncrook. That's your holding call. Boston shorthanded.
Boston penalty number 34.
Ellis, a talented power play quarterback with Seth Jones, a young pairing out of the blue line. Ribeiro, who can really dish it, working with Craig Smith, who had a pair last night. Jones off Bergeron's stick. Ribeiro carries past the hash mark, swings it in front off Marchand's stick. Ellis rescues it for Jones. Ellis closes, the shot deflects, and Rask bats it to the corner as he dove at the bouncing puck. Wilson, the one-touch pass. Smith tries the shot, and Rask makes the save. Ribeiro curls off the half boards, turns away from Bergeron. Smith in the high slot. The puck bounces over Wilson's stick. Kevin Miller wins the puck away from Colin Wilson. Wilson slides it near corner. Ribeiro brings it back to Jones. Jones to Ribeiro on Bergeron's side of the ice. Ribeiro backs into the corner. Chara takes his space away. Flips to Bergeron, who was also there, but he can't get it off the glass and out to center. Jones along the line. Miller spanks it the length of the rink.
Yeah, it's good tandem work to free that puck up between Bergeron and Chara. The Chara makes a nifty little pass, but Bergeron couldn't get anything on it to go off the glass to get it out, but the Bruins stay with it. And a good positional steal by Miller.
Mike Fisher with a little trouble from Gregory Campbell. Now squirts it forward. Neal and Bartkowski after the puck. Neal whacks it around. Rask is without his stick, but Campbell clears. And the Bruins retrieve the lumber for Tuukka Rask. There's 15 seconds to go in Soderberg's penalty. Nashville was 1 for 4 on the power play against the Bruins last Tuesday in Music City. Weber holds, rifles the pass to Neal, steps around Kaye, puts it in Fisher's skates. Campbell turns, fires it forward for Soderberg. Soderberg can't get a piece of the puck. And they rule it is not icing, although the trailing linesman had his hand in the air. The near one must have seen a deflection.
No, I think they thought that Paille was going to get to that puck first.
So he won the race.
Yep.
Cunningham gains the line against Fisher. Indirect for Lucic on the drop pass. Lucic, the slap pass, sails all the way through to the corner boards. Krug bounces it down to the corner. Krejci looking for Cunningham. Yossi puts the body between Cunningham and the puck. Fisher knocks it loose. Yossi on it. Cunningham plasters him with a hit. Fisher chucks the backhand forward to Taylor Beck, and he bounces it all the way to the Boston zone. Nashville changes out. The headman pass for Lucic. Ekholm comes through and stabs the puck away. Krug settles it. Eriksson's drive is well wide. Hamilton hustles and keeps the puck in the attacking zone. It flips over Beck but lands for Ellis. Ellis skates it forward. Hamilton can't pin him in with the hip check. Bartkowski through the corner. Yarncroft takes the puck away. Beck saucers it all the way back to Ekholm. Cullen wiggles off the dot. Hamilton knocks down the pass, guns it into the corner. Krejci, a sweet backhand pass. Here's Eriksson over the line, drops to Bartkowski in front for Eriksson. He scores. 3-2 Boston. The game slows down when the passes are that perfect.
David Krejci makes the play in the defensive zone. The puck comes up the wall. He's able to corral this puck in his vision to use that little drop pass, and that allows Bartkowski to activate. And even though the pass from Eriksson is kind of in the skates of Bartkowski, that's where it had to be because that's where the lane was. Bartkowski gets up the ice so fast. He gets criticized at times for his offensive instincts, but this is a heck of a play. Little pump fake as if he's going to shoot it, slides it across. Good net drive by Kelly. It opens up the return lane back to Eriksson, and Eriksson able to take this puck on his forehand, knows he has to elevate, took his time up over the glove of Hutton. You know, that pass was, you said it was a shot that was well wide by Eriksson on his recent same shift. Early when he first got out, he's actually looking for Lucic off that far post. Not sure if Lucic was expecting it or if it's just too far in front of him.
He didn't leave it short, we know that. Eriksson working out of the corner, squirts it past Jokin, and Miller's quick release never gets through to Hutton. Nystrom gets the puck to Weber off the end boards. Yossi on the turn. Bruins change out. Weber up the wall. Nystrom gets a piece of the puck and slides it in deep. And that's going to be icing all the way back to the Nashville zone.
Attention, all new instigators tonight following NESN Sports Today. Jack, Billy, and myself will debate the latest hot topics and discuss whether Alex Ovechkin is actually becoming a three-zone player. The gloves come off tonight on the Instigators, presented by the Electric Supply Center, driven to help you compete.
Marchand to Bartkowski. The Rocket skips wide and then comes back up toward the blue line hard. Seidenberg, the chip saucer pass to Smith, tries the low angle shot, and Hutton has to make a stop. Bergeron gives it back to Marchand. Seidenberg's drive off a skate in front. Jokinen just loops it out. Bartkowski goes north and south. Bergeron gets around Yossi, backhands it to the corner for Marchand. Marchand back to Chara, the blast saved by Hutton. It's underneath, and he gets the whistle. 12:43 to go in the second period. Louis Eriksson with his 8th of the season from Bartkowski and Kelly, and the Bruins are ahead for the 3rd time tonight. The producer Brian Zachello. You know, I'm getting used to those weird horns that grow out of his head. You know, it's nice during the holiday season when other people wear that kind of paraphernalia. He doesn't feel so weird. Lucic along the boards, goes low against Ryan Ellis, centers, but Fisher hoists it out. Now here comes Colin Wilson into the Boston zone. James Neal pursuing against Hamilton, lifts Hamilton's stick, does it again. Hamilton tries to rapid pass Fisher. Second effort gets it forward to Cunningham. Hamilton up to the line, but not out as Fisher is on it, and he chips it in deep. Chara spins it right to Neal, and one of the game's best snipers takes aim at Tuukka Rask's goal. Cunningham on the way back, leaves his, or rather it's Ekholm leaving his stick behind as Cunningham just kept on coming. Crowd looking for a call, but none forthcoming and none deserved either. Ellis slides the puck over to Ekholm. Forsberg pursues against Seidenberg. He turns the stick, puts it in Bartkowski's skates. Seidenberg swivels it over to Fraser. Ribeiro pressuring, ties up Fraser. Forsberg slips it to the goal line, but Bartkowski intercepts for Boston. Campbell on the receiving end of Bartley's hit, and the puck still isn't out of the Boston zone. Campbell, dangerous pass, just out of the reach of Craig Smith. Forsberg takes the Campbell hit to move the puck to Seth Jones. Returns it to Bartley, gets it past Paille. Campbell spoons it ahead for Fraser, but Seth Jones takes the puck away. Jones blows an edge and then nearly gets decapitated as Paille comes through with his skates up near the head. Smith's offside. Kind of choppy play all night long, and this is somewhat emblematic of it.
Yeah, well, Jones retrieves the puck on the chip in by Campbell, and he wants to use the net as the ally in order to shake an aggressive two-man forecheck. Fraser on the one side, then Paille is going to squeeze him off on the other. He loses an edge, then catches a knee right upside the helmet.
Born in Arlington, Texas, Popeye Jones must have been playing for the Dallas Mavs then, huh? Krug rips it around through both corners. Järnkrok tied up by Eriksson. Soderberg goes after the puck. Kelly scrapes it back to Miller. Miller dances around Cullen. Miller down past the hash marks, tries to hammer it middle, but it's off Järnkrok. And here comes Shea Weber, the Nashville captain, tosses the puck off the left wing boards. Taylor Beck battling for the puck forward of the goal line. Krug gets it to Soderberg. He chips it back, and Krug's got a little bit of space. Has to turn away from Cullen's pressure. Miller finds Kelly coming deep to receive the puck. Soderberg wrists it around. It gets underneath Hartle's stick. Eriksson far side. Gabriel Bourque knocks it back to the Nashville net. Weber around, but Eriksson seals off the boards. Eriksson to Kelly. Wraps it to Seidenberg. The shot, high slot off Soderberg. Weber goes north and south. Bartkowski knocks it down, and Nystrom scrapes it in for Nashville. Carl Soderberg tosses the shovel full of snow over the drift. Ellis looks for an outlet. Strangely quiet at TD Garden. I don't know if a lot of season ticket holders gave their tickets away to this one, but crowd not making a whole lot of noise. Bartkowski on the end board. Tries to toss it past Bourque. Seidenberg jams it over to Bergeron. Bergeron has Marchand straight ahead, looked him off, then gives it to him. Now takes the puck through the seam. The shot is saved by Hutton with Riley Smith jamming the goal. Bergeron, the big turn, back to Smith. Now it's Miller. Miller's wrist shot tipped down. Marchand scores! Marvelous work, all 200 feet. Brad Marchand has his second of the night, and the Bruins have their first two-goal lead.
Yeah, you'd love to take this replay all the way back to what was going on behind the Bruins net in the defensive zone, and then Bergeron comes in and helps out the 2D in order to clean up that D-to-D mess that was going on with the forecheck of the Predators. And Bergeron rips a pass through the neutral zone to Marchand. Marchand protects it off the wall, finds Bergeron coming late. Riley Smith with the net drive. That play just missed. Bergeron tracks the puck down. They're able to use the points, and actually Krug was going off the ice. Miller hangs onto it. He wanted to go D-to-D, but didn't have the option. He moves laterally, gets a shot through to the net, and it's redirected by Bergeron. And Marchand hangs around the front of the net. That's where the goals are scored. The deflection finds him wide open, and he's got a gaping empty net. First time tonight, the Bruins don't allow the Predators to come back and tie once they get the lead. They've extended the lead. It's the shot by Miller. It's almost like a 2-on-1 in front of the net. The lost coverage by the Predators. The redirect by Bergeron, and that allows Marchand to pick up his second of the night. Halfway through the game, Jack, better than that. Nashville has 8 shots on goal.
Yeah, the Preds clearly not sharp tonight, and the Bruins smart to take advantage of it. Seth Jones gives it over to Bartley. He redirects it in deep. Miller blows an edge. Ribeiro picks up the puck. Krejci on him. Krug snaps taps it out of the slot, but can't clear the zone. Bartley tips it forward. Smith slips the pass down to Philip Forsberg, past the Deadwood to Ribeiro, cycling in the corner. Ribeiro comes out high in the zone, switches with Seth Jones. Jones holds the puck against Krejci, who's without his stick. And it comes to Smith near the front, but he can't get it past Krug cleanly. Lucic electing to try to carry the puck out of the zone, gets it out to center. Jones turns, works it right over the center dot.
You know, Jack, I have no problem taking an icing in that situation. You just took the lead 4-2. You got the momentum of the hockey game. You got a 2-goal lead. You got to play without a stick. Go ahead and ice it. You're a real strong team with a face-off circle. You dominated in that area in the first period. I know you don't think of all those things as the action's happening, but don't be afraid to take an icing in that situation.
But that's part of the awareness of which you and Claude Julien have spoken many times this season. To have that game awareness of Boston's doing really well at the face-off dot. We're up by 2. We're in a little bit of a panic because we got a player without a stick, and it's the long change in the second period. And the Bruins now will call timeout. These are 2 gigantic psychological points for the Bruins. It's not just making up ground in the standings, which obviously they need to do. But as we began tonight's game telecast, we talked about the Bruins finding their identity and then creating the possibility that later on this season they can impose their will on other teams, something they failed to do in the first 34 games of this season.
And a big part of that identity, Jack, is turning defense into offense. And you can see Nashville, they're very aggressive with a 2-man forecheck. They want to take away all that D-to-D stuff. And I was saying this was kind of a D-to-D mess going on behind the net. Bergeron comes in, he relieves the pressure, and then you stretch the neutral zone. Possession play by Marchand. You get a good shot by Bergeron. You jump on a loose puck. And now Nashville's lost in coverage. And the Bruins are able to use the points. They spread it out in the offense. They get to the front of the net. 2 players in between the dots. We talked about getting to the net. I mean, those are fundamentals, but the Bruins have gotten away from that at time to time, and that's why you've had the 3-5-2 record in the last 10 games. They need more shifts like that on a consistent basis, but it started in the defensive zone with a heads-up play by Bergeron.
It had all the parts. Shea Weber's snapshot goes off the legs of Beck. Fraser muscles Yarncrook off the puck. Krejci, a tumbling muffin. Hops past Hutton, wide of the goal. Weber works it forward off Cullen's stick, and Hamilton swings one into the Nashville bench. We'll take a short break. Rick's back with the Berkshire Bank Rewind, looking at Marchand's first of the night in just a moment.
It is brought to you by Berkshire Bank, where no 2 customers are alike. Well, we got 6 total goals in this game. We're going to rewind it back to the first period. Early in the period, to be more precise, and it's the Bergeron line going to work. Good offensive zone time, good battle factor. Good support, good positioning, good back pressure. The turnover by Forsberg, couldn't get it out on a bouncing puck. A little give and go. And one thing to really take note of here, not only the quickness of the pass by Marchand, but when you watch Patrice Bergeron, the minute he gets this pass from Marchand, he pushes this puck out in front of him as if he's going to make a play to the front of the net to Riley Smith. And they have to defend that potential pass. The stick position right there gets Weber to bite. Yossi gets locked up with Smith, and that leaves Marchand wide open for the finish.
Vote for your favorite exciting rewind and enter the mortgage sweepstakes. Go to NESN.com/Berkshire Bank for details. Life is exciting. Let Berkshire Bank help. Eric Nystrom against Seidenberg down in the corner. Seidenberg in the middle of the sandwich, paying the price, but not giving up possession of the puck. Now it squirts around, and Shea Weber's going to have to chase it all the way back to center. Let's go Bruins, the chant from the crowd. Newly enervated. Bartkowski swings at it and just gets a piece of the puck, so Jokin can't pounce on it. Nystrom maneuvering against Seidenberg. Seidenberg up to one knee. Jokinen to Nystrom. This is the energy line for Peter Laviolette. Soderberg spilled, loses his stick. Yossi tees it up, cranks one right into the hip of Bourque. Soderberg 3-on-3 up ice with Erickson and Kelly coming late. Kelly picks up the puck at the dot. Cycles to Soderberg in front for Erickson, but the puck sizzles all the way through to the board.
Tough position for him to receive it, Erickson. It was a hard pass inside the stick between the skates.
James Neal leaves the puck for Olli Jokinen. It's off Chara's stick and hits the corner boards. Chara back to pick up the puck right in front of the Boston net to Patrice Bergeron. Bergeron puts it into the benches in the face-off of the Boston zone.
Saturday night at 6 on Big Bad Bruins Live, presented by DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. It'll be another edition of Pee Wee Saturday as the Milton Girls Pee Wee team will join us in studio. And then Cam Neely's on the hot seat for Bruins Small Talk, where kids ask the tough questions. Stay on top of everything Bruins every week during the season.
Fisher, Neal, and Wilson with Ellis and Ekholm in the attacking zone for Nashville. Bergeron wins the face-off to the boards. Neal tries to turn the net, and Krug scrapes it right off his forehand. Marchand can't knock it past Ellis. Krug off the end boards. Kevin Miller overskates the puck, wheels it past Colin Wilson, but Fisher is there. Fisher does so many things Chris Kelly-like away from the puck. Outstanding three-zone player. Here is Fisher. Wilson tries to go around Bergeron. The puck rolls all the way across the 85-foot wide playing surface. Miller rattles the puck. Krejci calmly takes it blind on the backhand. Stick handles around Fisher. Up to Krug at the attacking line. Saucer pass, cross ice. Ellis one hand flick forward to Forsberg. Now Neal over the line to Fisher. Fisher looking for Forsberg on the timing play. Bartley jumps up. Chara takes the hit from Forsberg to knock the puck through the corner, but not out. Smith's quick release and a save by Rask, and Smith follows. Those were Nashville's first 5-on-5 shots on goal in the second period.
Bruins poll presented by the new Scion TC. Which veteran coach is doing the best with his new team? Apply A for Gerard Gallant of Florida, B for Peter Laviolette here tonight with the Predators, C for Paul Maurice of Winnipeg, or D for Barry Trotz in Washington. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. Text help for info and visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions and privacy policy. Jack and Brick, how do you guys see it?
Well, Garen, you know, Nashville's only 2 points behind Chicago and has 2 games in hand on the Blackhawks. And there probably aren't a lot of people who would have predicted that Florida would be in the playoff structure come the Christmas break. So a lot of good things to choose from there. Nashville ices it here, and Brick, you know, Nashville might be a little out of sync, might be a little bit tuckered out, but you know what? They have owned the second period this year, and the Bruins, who have really been troubled in the middle period, are playing one of their best second periods of the season.
Yeah, message received in between first and second periods that the Bruins needed to be better than they were in the first. We called it a mixed bag after the first 20. Did some good things, made some mistakes, soft goal, but they knew the reputation of Nashville, and they got first-hand taste of it not too long ago. So, yeah, message received. I'm sure they talked about it and addressed it.
And 2 of the most beautiful goals we've seen all season, and both 200-foot efforts. Krejci, the diagonal to Hamilton, dances around Forsberg. Cunningham, the hard backhand. Krejci finds Cunningham in the seam. Eyes in the back of his head. One of those magical David Krejci passes that got the oohs and ahs from the upper deck. Forsberg, stick handles around Chara. Hamilton keeps him on the perimeter. Forsberg into the middle for Fisher. The puck back to Weber. Tries to flatten it. Still gets off a drive. Going just wide of the post, but Rask gloves it for the faceoff.
Tomorrow on NESN Live, Elle and Sarah will have all the latest sports news as well as a complete preview of the Bills and Patriots. Get inside the latest headlines on NESN Live, presented by Cross Insurance, every weekday evening at 5:30. Yeah, David Krejci, just his vision. He makes the simple plays simple. He makes the difficult plays look simple.
Patrice Bergeron won that faceoff. He's 8 for 10 tonight. Anything over 55% is really good in the National Hockey League. And Bergeron has been dancing right around the 60% mark for 3 years running. Bartkowski kicks the puck ahead, but Fisher picks it off. Colin Wilson works on an off-balance Seidenberg. Centering pass. Bergeron intercepts and sends it ahead for Marchand. No icing. Marchand gets there first. Takes the hit from Josi. Bruins changing out behind. Shea Weber. Campbell goes body across body, but Josi, the defensive pair, is right there for Weber. The long diagonal off Wilson's stick. Nashville wants a change. Matt Frazier stick handles into trouble. The shot from Cullen over the top. Krug rattles it off glass. Ekholm chucks it off the boards. It bounces down to Krug behind the Boston goal. Frazier gets plastered, giving up the body, knowing Ekholm was coming hard. Campbell working to the corner. Centers it, looking for Paille. The puck follows Paille all the way to the corner. Cullen chips over to Jarnkrok. He works against Chara. Into Chara's skates. Jarnkrok to the corner, and Chara introduces himself shoulder to shoulder, and Jarnkrok makes the glass reverberate backward. Paille's ruled offside on this 100-foot pass.
The all-new Pro Shop, powered by Reebok, is your one-stop shop this holiday season. Find the largest selection of officially licensed Bruins and Celtics apparel. Free parking is available with purchase during non-event times in the North Station Garage, located directly below TD Garden. For holiday hours and other info, visit bostonbruins.com/Pro Shop.
Because the pass came from the Boston zone, that's where the faceoff will be on the offside. Bergeron wins another draw, 9 for 11. Louis Eriksson. Bartley with a big hit. Eriksson hops right back up. Bergeron tries to get the puck deep. Now he changes out. Then Kelly will come on as the wing.
Now those hits always look bigger when you're off balance and vulnerable to be hit because you put yourself in that position.
Kelly, the lateral tap to Eriksson. The saucer pass looking for Soderberg, but Jones hammers it forward. Bartkowski swings to Seidenberg, north and south. Kelly kills it with the soft hands. Eriksson's shot ramps up and goes out of play. Minute and a half to go in the second period. A strong finish from the Bruins would send them to the room feeling a lot different than they usually feel after two.
And we've seen a number of passes here in this second period where the Bruins have stretched the neutral zone. You go back to the Marchand goal this period, second of the night. That was a stretch pass for Bergeron. Twice on one shift early in the period, David Krejci got long passes from the defenseman, swooping through the neutral zone in the middle of the ice. That play right there, Kelly gets open deep into the neutral zone on a feed from Seidenberg. Those are good decisions and good execution.
Josi curls out of the corner. Cunningham sends it right back. Lucic, unopposed, brings the puck to the hash marks. Off Ribeiro's stick. Cunningham in a puck battle against Josi. Forsberg to Weber. Uncharacteristic giveaway, and Cunningham gets the puck forward. Lucic caves in Josi. Final minute of the second period. Philip Forsberg. The serpentine route out of his own zone, then gathers speed into the Boston end, runs into Chara. Smith off of Rask, who's holding the short side post. Lucic and Weber to the corner. Weber gets there first. Chara up the middle to Krejci. Krejci gives to Cunningham with about 40 seconds to go in the period. He spills it in deep. The Bergeron line. Cowboys over the boards. Josi feeds it forward for Ribeiro, who in one of those top 10 internet lists was voted as the third best dive of all time in the 2004 playoffs. The top two were both soccer players, so that's pretty good company for a diver. Smith lets the puck slide back to Ellis. Now Riley Smith working forward. Ryan Ellis and Marchand tied up behind the plate. Two little guys who have plenty of spice in their games, and I believe they're both going to go.
Now, the Nashville bench was up in arms. They thought there was some interference going on along those left wing boards that allowed the Bruins to get possession of the puck.
Just one. Marchand.
Marchand's going to come out, make some contact with Ellis. Both kind of locked up with each other. Down the boards, yards away. I believe it was Bergeron that was in contact as well with Smith. That's the penalty that they wanted, but none coming. And now Marchand further up later in the play. Apparently the only guilty party in that one-on-one with Ellis.
His reputation precedes him. No call conveyed to us yet. We presume it's just cheating. The siren sounds to end the second. It wasn't the prettiest period, but one of the Bruins' best middle periods of the season, Brick.
Yeah, highly effective period.
Playing behind Rene this season. Game summary brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
Didn't Tuukka Rask win the Vezina last year?
Yes, he did.
And the Bruins backup last year?
Guy got a job out of it, didn't he?
I'm not buying into that deflation theory.
What do I know about world finance anyway? Don't buy rubles, I can tell you that. Ellis sprays it over to Ribeiro. Power play to begin the third period on a clean sheet of ice for Nashville. And a chance to get right back in this game. Seth Jones' shot. Chara gets a piece of it. Now pokes it around Ribeiro. Wilson picks up the puck forward of the goal line. Can't rattle it through Chara's stick. Ribeiro holds on the half boards. Bergeron pursues. Jones mishandles the puck and it comes out to center. Bergeron will change out in favor of fresh-legged Chris Kelly. Now Cunningham peels off and Eriksson comes on. Jones works it down the wall. Funny bounce off a stanchion between two panes of corner glass. Kelly pokes to Chara and he thunders it down the rink.
I just love that tandem work when they kill penalties, when they got to go. The Bruins, good recovery, good recognition by Miller to react to that puck off the glass quickly. Chara in the neighborhood, and then Kelly sags all the way back for a possession play.
Fisher stick handling down Seidenberg's side, gets the leverage on Seidenberg, but the contact separated Fisher from the puck. Josi backhands the puck in deep. Fisher indirect for Philip Forsberg. Fisher snaps the pass into Josi's skates. He kicks to the stick and then sends it over to Shea Weber. Neal turns and fires, which is what he does best. And Rask makes the save with 9 seconds left on Marchand's penalty.
You're going to give up some shots when you kill penalties, but when you're doing things really well and you work together and you have good communication, body position, stick position, plays like this happen. Rask wants to keep it alive. And there's Kelly all the way down below the goal line. And all he knows is, if I can tap this puck to Chara, I know he can go hard around the boards for an easy clear. Seidenberg
in and out of the benches. And the face-off back in the Boston zone. So Marchand, who has 2 goals tonight, is thinking 5 seconds from now, somebody make a clear, put it right on my blade. Bartkowski, Seidenberg fans on it as he tried to get it around the boards. There's Bartkowski and there's Marchand. Bartkowski sprints up ice. Marchand gets twisted at the line. Eriksson walks in. Cannot complete the backhand forehand move because he got slashed world class. And James Neal, of all people, is complaining to the ref. Neal, by the way, was recently fined for diving.
Well, it's another good move by Matt Bartkowski. Just explodes to open space. Louis Eriksson tries to pull that puck with him. Isn't able to do it. Humps over his stick. And I can see why Neal was upset. Little slash there.
Karma train.
Hey, you know,
it's not a good building for Neal.
Well, you felt like Marchand had a reputation penalty, didn't you? In the end of the second period.
Well, there's an extra 2 on that for James Neal.
2 minutes unsportsmanlike conduct. Time of the penalties, 2 minutes 2 seconds.
So the Bruins with a chance to blow this one apart. Riley Smith to Louis Eriksson, the drive and a save by Hutton.
What an opportunity for your power play. You already have a power play goal tonight.
2 for slashing and 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct.
So you got the 4 minutes of penalty minutes. The double minor, you can score a couple power play goals, one on each. You get a pretty good look for Eriksson off that good rush. Heads up play by Riley Smith to gain the blue line. And because he wasn't being pressured, he was able to stop only about 5 feet inside. Generally, you got to get that puck to the tops of the circles before you put the brakes on. But Nashville backed off.
Let's go Bruins, a chant from the Garden crowd, which was pretty uncertain coming out of the first period. The Bruins, this puck is caught in Patrice Bergeron's breezers, I believe.
Saw that highlight of Marty Brodeur.
It
took a while for them to find it.
He went all the way to the bench. The play stopped. The referee had lost sight of the puck in the crease. And Brodeur's hopping around like he's doing some kind of dance. The puck still won't fall out. Skates over to the bench, and finally it tumbles out.
You know, when they used to talk about the cheating went on, Jaguar was the guy that they targeted during the lockout, and talking about how goaltenders cheat in order to cover up most of the net, just make positional saves instead of having to react and make saves. And they referenced the size of the pants, and they would use the phrase, yeah, you know, those big clown pants that the goalies wear.
Well, even with the reduced pad size, I swear the equipment managers could sleep on Pekarine's leg pads. Those things are the size of couches. He's a huge man. Krug pulls it off the boards. Goes across the zone. Krejci backs away from Fischer. Marchand rotates high into the space. Fischer knocks it off his stick, but Krejci to Krug. One-touch pass to Lucic. Lucic back to Krug, to Krejci below the dot with Marchand at the slot. Cross ice, Chara jams, rebound, saved by Hutton. Loose, and Hutton pulls it back to his pads. Good work from Carter Hutton, as Chara had a couple of chances in close.
The Bruins set up nicely. They get into that low triangle with David Krejci getting this puck between the goal line and the circle. And a face-off dot. Marchand was the threat in the slot. Krejci looks him off, and he tries to go right across the top of the crease to Chara off that far post. But you're right, Hutton made a couple of nice plays to keep that puck out.
Riley Smith to Hamilton. A dart goes wide, hits the kick plate, hard bounce. Eriksson to Smith. Smith's wrist shot deflects, goes off the glass. Gabriel Bourque, great hands from Smith to steal from Bourque. Here's Bergeron's shot, and it goes up and over as Hutton makes a lunge off his line. Smith backs to the hash marks. Hamilton, high slot man is Bergeron. Soderberg to Eriksson, keeps it on his blade. Bergeron dances. The pass across the goal mouth. Riley Smith. Carl Soderberg holds. Smith still on the perimeter. Soderberg finds it in his skates. 3 shots in the first 2 minutes of power play for the Bruins. Eriksson to Soderberg to Eriksson. Hamilton wide open on the weak side, but Josi keeps the puck from getting to him. Josi muscles it forward. Bergeron attacks the puck. Jarnkrok swipes it to the blue line and out.
All that added pressure was because of Riley Smith at that right point, Jag. You said the hand-eye coordination. That puck was in the air, and he was able to stand in at that offensive blue line and make the steal.
Torrey Krug changes gears, flies into the attacking zone, gives to Chara. Back to Krejci, walks in, snaps the stick about a foot below the knob. So Krejci without a stick. Jokinen, the shot from Nystrom goes into Rask's chest.
Yeah, I thought Nashville could have got a better opportunity than that against a guy that really doesn't play defense, so to speak, in David Krejci, and without a stick.
Krejci curls it back to Krug. Krug's wrist shot off the post. Chara can't control the bouncer. Krejci tosses the puck to Lucic. He approaches Jones. Gets it back out of Jones's skates. Whacks it around. Krug on the backhand, turns to the forehand and slings it back around the boards. About 20 seconds to go on the power play. Krejci in a little trouble from Nystrom. Gets it to Lucic. Past Chara, who cannot control the end boards. Nystrom chips for Jokinen. Jokinen moves around Krejci, drives it on Rask. He spills it out. And Neal's unsportsmanlike penalty expires.
All right, you don't get anything on the double minor. This is where you have to have a couple of good 5-on-5 shifts to keep the play going forward.
Great Cunningham shot flutters wide. High puts the body on Ryan Ellis. Ekholm off of Campbell's stick. Campbell wins it away from Fisher. Feeds Paille. The shot saved by Hutton. 13:34 to go in the game. The Bruins leading the Nashville Predators 4-2.
Time Live. Hey, Santa came early. You see that? Jaffe's gone back to the studio. We're going to have a great post game. Jack and Brick talked to Claude Julien as well. Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live after the game.
It's a tough room. You better grow a thick skin. Patrice Bergeron wins yet another face-off. Marchand, the shooter, and they'll do it again.
Time of the penalty, 6 minutes, 26 seconds. Neal, 10-minute misconduct at 6:26.
A misconduct against James Neal. There's a shot that trickles through Hutton, but he finds it with the stick and whacks it back underneath him. That's a 10-minute misconduct, not a manpower penalty. So they've heard enough from James Neal tonight.
You got to think Nashville's going to make a change here. I mean, these are two clear face-off wins back-to-back by Bergeron to Marchand. 2 shots on goal. First one Hutton smothered. Second one he got a lot of, but it got behind him momentarily. So a change of the forward line, certainly in the center position for the Preds.
Well, this one Nashville controls. Yarncrook curls away from Marchand. Weber. Here comes Taylor Beck. The shot scores, and it's 4-3. Well, the Bruins have a few moments of slop after setting up camp in the Nashville end of the ice, and with 13+ minutes to go in the game, it's a 1-goal game.
Nashville tries to force a play at the offensive blue line to jump Yarncrook. That isn't there. The puck just kind of gets deflected across the blue line, the Bruins defensive blue line. Chara can't get to it first. Yarncrook can. Just taps it to Beck, who's a right shooter. Coming down that left wing. So the puck's in a good spot for him. He's got a little momentum going. I think if you talked to Tuukka after the game, he probably felt he should have had that one.
A couple of non-elite goals against Tuukka Rask tonight. Louis Eriksson, Dougie Hamilton, indirect Soderberg. Eriksson comes out of the collision, has Kelly middle, couldn't make the pass as Weber just took it away. Denied all options. Chara's one-timer. Hutton kicks it all the way past the top of the circle. Forsberg turns to the backhand to get it to Smith, the quick release, and Rask makes the save outside his crease.
Tonight, following the post-game show, stay right here for NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Gary and Nikki will have more reaction from the Bruins on tonight's game. Highlights of the Celtics in Orlando. Shalise Manzi-Young will report from Patriots practice. Get up to date on New England sports tonight, right after Bruins coverage.
Beck's 4th of the year from Yarncrook and Weber at 6:48 of the third period, and the Bruins are in a tussle now. Nashville has not led tonight. Barkley, the long shot. Rask makes a nice save, but a long rebound all the way to Wilson. Now Jones's wrist shot ramps off Lucic's stick up and into the protective netting above the high glass. Seth Jones in his 2nd season. Number 4 overall pick. Nathan McKinnon went first in 2013, then Barkov and Drouin. Plenty of talent in that draft. Here is Seth Jones. The dart to Nystrom. Off the end wall. Seidenberg into the corner. Bartley pinching down well below the hash marks. Fisher rotating. Funny bounce off a Stanchion. The quick shot. Nystrom and Rask makes the save. Well, if you like old school rinks, you still get those kind of bounces here in Boston.
Yeah, and Bartley's going to stand at that left point, and they're going to track the puck pretty well. The Preds, the Bruins can't quite corral this puck. Krejci can't tap it by. Cunningham couldn't get possession. All of a sudden, that puck's on the stick of Nystrom. It's a bad angle shot, but it's still a shot on goal from inside the dot or below the dot. But still 12 minutes to go, and the Bruins only up by 1.
Matt Cullen against Bergeron on the faceoff. Cullen wins it back to Ekholm. Cullen curls out of the corner, sends it in deep again. Ekholm's one-timer off Beck's work forward to the goal line, and a nifty pass back to him. Ekholm strides into one, and Rask makes the save, with Cullen creating traffic, and Nashville's tilting the ice on the Bruins.
The 2015 Pucks and Pups calendar, presented by the Black Dog, is available now, featuring your favorite Bruins players with their own pets or with puppies that are up for adoption from the MSPCA. This calendar is a must-have for any Bruins fan. Proceeds benefit the Boston Bruins Foundation, and donations will be made to the MSPCA and needs to purchase. Visit bostonbruins.com/pucks and pups.
Stanley Pup is bitterly disappointed that he was bypassed once again. Ribeiro and Hamilton administering a little bit of face washing.
Yeah, a little momentum swing right now in favor of the Preds after that third goal by Beck. They're winning some faceoffs in the offensive zone. They're spending some time in the O zone. Ribeiro and Hamilton lock up. Sorta.
Bergeron wins a faceoff from Ribeiro. Hamilton turns the goal. Forsberg knocking it loose, but Hamilton recovers to Chara. He does not connect with Marchand, and it's icing against the Bruins. How do you hit the reset button if you're a team leader for Boston right now?
Well, you get the Bergeron line on the ice, and you win a faceoff, and then you make a play. You're going to expect the pressure. Dougie Hamilton gets that little chip pass behind the net. He's got to get separation right there. Explode. You're an explosive skater. Get moving. Put those forecheckers behind you when you have that net and a chance to swing it. And then make that first good pass coming out of your zone.
Fisher wins the draw against Bergeron. Marchand attacks the puck, but here's Weber. He snaps the stick in two. Shea Weber's slap shot, the second fastest ever clocked at an NHL skills competition, in excess of 105 miles an hour. Second only to Zdeno Chara. Sometimes the stick doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, Riley Smith can't corral that puck, can't be strong enough on it. You got to make sure in that situation. Don't think you're just going to assume you're going to get it. Think offense. A one-goal game where the momentum's going against you right now. Win that battle. Stay there until you win it.
Is Weber a Reed Larson type shooter? You know, some guys just pick the puck right off the ice. Other guys just mow it down from about a foot behind the puck.
No, he's a little bit more pure than Reed Larson was. Now, Ray Bourque hit behind it pretty good. Reed Larson certainly. And the guy I use all the time was a guy I played with in New Jersey, Mark Johnson, of course, the great Olympian from the 80 team. I mean, he pured that puck.
Didn't even touch the chips of ice.
Wow, he was amazing.
How did a guy that little do so well? Amazing. Fisher, one hand flipped down to the corner. Seidenberg turns the goal. Crowd getting a little rowdy here, trying to encourage the Bruins. Here's Louis Eriksson playing the puck off his skate to the stick. Tosses the backhand behind Josi and goes in after it as fresh players come off the Boston bench. Soderberg wrists it around. Eriksson throws it right in front, but Fisher is there. Johnny on the spot. Mike Fisher chips out through the center circle and hops over Kevin Miller's stick. Ole Jokinen pressuring Miller, but he slides it forward, does not connect with Eriksson, and it's icing against Boston with 10.5 to go.
The right idea, though, by Kevin Miller. Rather than go D to D and slow it down, he had room up the right wing to make a play quick up to Eriksson, get going north again, get into the neutral zone. They just don't connect, and now you got an offensive zone face-off in Nashville, so important that you manage the puck in this situation.
Nashville has picked it up a couple of notches. Shots on goal are 5-1 for the Preds since they scored to get it within one. Bartley's shot. Miller kills it on the forehand. Soderberg skates it away to Eriksson. He scoops it up and it slides down the slot. Bartley in trouble with Lucic on the forecheck. Lucic can't throw it in front. Miller wrists the puck around the boards. Lucic holds off Bartley. In goes Krejci. Yarncrook wins the puck battle against Krejci. Cunningham swipes it back to Krug, ahead to Lucic. Cullen and Krejci. Krejci shields, so it bounces back to Krug. He feeds Krejci with a lot of room on the right. Cuts back to the middle. Krejci gives to Lucic. He reaches over the line, but then loses control of the puck. Mattias Ekholm with the quick stop and cutback to lose Lucic. Fires a dart into the back of Forsberg's skates, but Ribeiro is there in support to fling it deep. Chara around the corner for Krejci. Now Lucic lugs it to the red line, pulls up, and the Bruins change out. Ryan Ellis straight up the middle of his own zone. Ekholm feeds Ribeiro in a crowd, gives to Forsberg the cutback, flings it wing to wing to Ellis. He bounces it toward the front. Craig Smith can't get to it. Bergeron in pursuit against Ekholm. Ekholm turns the net tightly and swings out with speed. Gives it to Ellis. The tap ahead. Bartkowski chops it loose, but Ellis, who's a terrific skater, hops right on it. Gets the return from Ribeiro. Ellis pulls up at the hash marks, fires it across the front, and it's deflected up and over the glass. 8:43 remaining in the game. Nashville is pulled within one. Play brought to you by your New England Audi dealers. 2 for number 63.
And it started early give and go with Bergeron on some good offensive tone time. Gave the Bruins a 1-0 lead. Beautiful finish high to the blocker side, and then another real good shift in the second period. 4th goal of the night for the Bruins, 2nd for Marchand, and at that time the Bruins had a 2-goal lead.
At the peak of their powers, when the Bruins got up by 2, it was lights out. But this team still struggling to find its identity and establish itself. Plenty of time left, and the season is by no means gone, but the Bruins are going to have to make the most of every opportunity to gather points. Bartkowski lobs it off the glass. Cunningham the self-pass. Krejci pursues against Weber. Lucic gloves it down in the corner, takes the hit from Fisher. Slides the puck to the near side. Seidenberg in a race against Colin Wilson. Wilson gets it up to the line, but not out. Cunningham flicks it around and rides the dasher and then drops down for Weber. Krejci gets the shaft of the stick down to block the first pass. Weber tries the other side with the backhand. Wilson turns, it's off Seidenberg's stick. Now Josi finds some skating space, feeds Fisher 2-on-1 with Cullen against Bartkowski, and Fisher's stick snaps. Some fortuitous moments for the Bruins as Nashville has suffered a couple of broken sticks with good shooters in good position in the last couple of minutes. Krejci soft and direct for Krug, changes pace on the quick release. Marchand can't go through Colin Wilson. Smith tugging away from Josi, and Josi has the puck. Underneath Weber. Weber goes north and south. Taylor Beck redirects it in deep. Yarncrook wins the race to the puck, finds Bartley. Bergeron blocks his shot. Marchand tries to clear. Nystrom wide on a shot. Seth Jones jumps up. Yarncrook in the rotation off Miller's skate. Scrambling and buzzing the Boston net. The Predators are pouring it on right here. Nystrom in the corner. Taylor Beck knocks it back to Jones along the line to Bartley. Bartley reverse shot off of Marchand's stick. Nystrom on the cycle. Miller mashes him with a good check. The Yarncrook has the puck. Water bugging away from Smith. Nystrom's pass. Jones can't handle it. It comes back to center, but he looks for a quick re-entry. Huge range on the turn. Drops it off. Nystrom shot saved by Rask. Rebound. Smith drills it off the dasher with the puck on edge. Smith turns and fires, and it deflects to the corner. Ribeiro picks it up in the cycle. Nashville has taken it up a notch or two. Jones, cross ice, off the boards. Ribeiro fires it into Soderberg's legs. Craig Smith wins the puck, then loses to Soderberg. Miller against Ribeiro. Miller, patient, eats it, finds Soderberg. Soderberg reverses, and now Jones is in a race with Marchand. Jones chops it back to the rotating Nystrom. Off Smith's glove into Krug's skate. Smith turns out of Krug's hit, slips the puck to Ribeiro to Forsberg. He can't get the shot through the pile. It hops over Krug's stick. Second chance here for Smith, and he sails it off the end glass. Boston fans most dissatisfied with the Bruins' inability to get the puck out of their own zone. A full minute of zone time for Nashville here. Craig Smith wheels it middle. Louis Eriksson takes the puck, spoons it out, and Jones knocks even that out of the air, playing it above shoulder height, and the face-off will be in the neutral zone. Here comes Nashville. The pressure's on.
Saturday night at 6:30, join Dale and Billy when WB Mason presents Bruins Face Off Live. Get an in-depth look at how the Bruins match up with Columbus, who's hot and who's not in the Metropolitan Division, and all the latest NHL headlines. Get ready for the game with Nesson, Saturday at 6:30.
It's going on 8 minutes of game time since Nashville scored to get within 4-3. The Bruins have one shot on goal in that time. Nashville has 8.
That combination you just saw right there, Billy Krug along with Marchand, were the three guys that are out there for well over a minute, or sure seemed like well over a minute. It all started with a dump into the zone. It was an area where Tuukka Rask couldn't play it, and there was some confusion between Krug and Miller who was going to go get it, and Nashville got to it first.
Colin Wilson sends it deep. Rask paddles it over to Seidenberg. Seidenberg swipes the puck around, and it caroms off the linesman's leg in the neutral zone. Matthias Ekholm. The middle of the line, Matt Cullen off his stick and into the protective netting. The faceoff's going to be outside the Boston line. Peter Laviolette has gotten his Nashville Predators to marshal their forces in the third period. Nashville had only 10 shots on goal in the first 40 minutes, and they've got 22 in about 15 minutes of the third period.
Yeah, and having been on benches on good teams, talking about Nashville in the year that they have it right now, they believe they're going to win this hockey game. That's the feeling that's on that bench. They know they have Boston on their heels, backpedaling, reeling right now. They feel like it's coming.
Yeah, 22 total, 12 in the third period so far for Nashville. They get it in deep again. Here's Hamilton under pressure from Ribeiro, who stabs at the puck. It hops past Smith. Bergeron off the end boards. Chara chops it around Marchand and Weber. You frequently see those defensemen all the way to the end boards. Josi to Weber in a little bit of space. Wrists it toward goal. It rattles off Ribeiro's skate. Forsberg against Chara on the end boards. Chara playing without his stick. It's down there at the player's feet. Smith swings it up the slot. Josi rotates with Weber. Ribeiro redirects Forsberg's centering pass. More attacking zone time for Nashville. Chara pokes the puck ahead to Marchand. He loops it, and it bounces and skids all the way down to Hutton.
Even though the stick is a heck of a lot shorter, because it was Marchand's stick that he handed off to Chara. Chara was still able to make the play.
Barnley down in the corner. Seth Jones at the hash marks. Chucks it to the end board. Seidenberg strong against Beck to wedge him in there. Bartkowski wins the puck battle. Slips it to Soderberg. Soderberg skates it out and then flips the puck wing to Eriksson with Kelly nearby. Eriksson gets shoved off, but finds Soderberg. The shots. Jones with the block in front. Chara recovers the puck in front of the penalty bench doors. Eriksson up to the red line. Hutton controls the puck with Lucic chasing. Jones D to D. Bartley back to Jones. Straight ahead for Fisher. Stick handles into traffic. High shot on Rask. The rebound didn't know where it was. Still loose near the goal mouth. And finally a whistle with the puck underneath the Boston goalie.
Quick puck movement through the neutral zone to Fisher at the offensive blue line. Bruins give up the blue line. The quick play from the middle of the ice to the right wing for a high shot that creates a rebound. Bruins trying to do something in the neutral zone in a 1-2-2, but the play works when they go D to D, back up the middle, seam pass, high shot, rebound chance, mad scramble on. And good thing Rask was able to track this puck even though he was down. Going to get that puck underneath the legs.
James Neal is eligible to play again after having served his 10-minute misconduct. So a valuable sniper available for Peter Laviolette in the last 3 minutes. We'll look for Carter Hutton to make his move to the Nashville bench. The Preds have had significant periods of consecutive zone time here in the late third period. Wilson to Cullen! He fires it wide. Wilson spins the puck down to the corner, and the crowd booing the Bruins at TD Garden. Lucic against Wilson. Weber off the end boards. Seidenberg slips the puck to Krejci. Wobbles it underneath Lucic's stick. Lucic barrels forward against Ryan Ellis, tries to curl inside, and Ellis takes the puck away. Bergeron steals from Ribeiro. Bergeron holds with Smith, making himself available high. Ribeiro gets to the puck first and springs Philip Forsberg. Forsberg over the line with Craig Smith. The rebound from Rask goes right up the slot. Bergeron springs Marchand. Marchand against Seth Jones. Pivots, holds, shields. Marchand turns, fires, and a blocker saved by Hutton. This puck deflects and floats into the Nashville bench. Brad Marchand shooting for just the second hat trick of his career.
Well, not a great rebound by Rask, but the bad angle shot by Forsberg. Marchand takes off or tracks the puck after Bergeron just kind of backhands it into his neighborhood. He couldn't outrace Seth Jones, but he pulled the puck back. He waited, looked for support, looked for help, nothing there. Hang on to it, spin. Jones backs off. Now you get to the slot right between the hash marks, and Hutton had to get it with the blocker.
Minute and 45 left in this one. 3 days off in a row.
Well, Cullen had a real good opportunity, Jack, just before the Marchand chance.
Colin Wilson setting him up in front. The game report brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. The Bruins have led 3 times in this game. 1-0, 2-1, and then 4-2.
You know, one of the phrases we've used a lot with this Bruins team this year is they don't make it easy on themselves. After a pretty strong second period and a 4-2 lead in the third on home ice just before the holiday break, you know, you're trying to put this game away. They get the double-minded appeal. The power play can't further extend the lead. And now they've been on their heels with great pressure by the Preds here once they got to 4-3 on the goal by Beck.
Eriksson fires it off a body and it bounces all the way to the near boards. Forsberg, Fisher, Weber off the boards. It bounces through the center circle. Seidenberg off the wall. Kelly scrapes it ahead. Craig Smith back to Shea Weber. Carter Hutton makes his move to the bench. Craig Smith, the high shot on Rask, and he gloves it. And interesting to note that the 6th skater is not James Neal, who has not played since about 13.5 minutes to go in the game when he got his misconduct penalty.
Well, you got a couple of guys that can really shoot it as well, and Fisher and Smith. You got a good playmaker in Ribeiro. You got an impressive rookie that wins a lot of battles with good hockey smarts in Forsberg. Then you got your top 2D out there.
Eriksson with the net empty at the other end. Punches it over for Kelly. He can go for it from there. And just wide, but here's Eriksson. Can't go backhand, forehand, and here comes Craig Smith up ice. Mike Fisher has Ribeiro going far side. Rattles it around. Rask stops it, wrists it off the glass, and rides the dasher, and Bergeron picks up the puck and gets it out of the zone. Over to Eriksson. He deeks, goes backhand. Kelly's middle. Eriksson scores. Merry Christmas. The Bruins will take it to the holiday with a win over the Nashville
just when it looked like the Predators were to keep this puck in the zone, when Bergeron picked the puck up on the wing boards and Eriksson was available, the puck came away from Bergeron. The Preds try to keep it in the zone. Forsberg takes a swipe at it, but it hits Bergeron and goes back out the neutral zone. Bergeron keeps the play alive, lays the puck across the ice to Eriksson. Kelly jumps into the play to create the 2-on-1 against Weber. Eriksson thought about making the pass. The minute Weber kind of put his stick in the neighborhood of trying to disrupt that pass, just buries in the empty net.
A 3-assist night for Patrice Bergeron. And the Bruins are going to win 2 in a row for the first time in a month. Colin Wilson in the corner with 20 seconds to go in the game. James Neal fires it into the middle. Fraser blocks it. Campbell to Fraser. He flips it in deep. Rene Rancourt sang the Christmas carols. And the Bruins finish hearing a holiday cheer.
Well, the Bruins really hung on for about a 12-minute stretch and so, Jack. After the Beck goal, a lot of pressure from Nashville. The wins this year, not a lot of them have been easy ones, and blowouts or not much push from the opponent. Have very few of those games this year. You saw why Nashville's been a real good team this year with their effort when they were down by 2. But it's important that the Bruins got these 2 points tonight, no matter what fashion.
All right, Dale and Barry, nothing's easy, but 2 points in the bank.
And you take the 2 points any way you can get them. Coming up on Ace Ticket, Bruins Overtime Live. Yeah, they hung on. Important phrase there is hang on. They did just that. Jack and Brick will talk with Bruins head coach Claude Julien. And now they're off for the Christmas break. We'll talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets, where the Bruins will be visiting on Saturday. Ace Ticket, Bruins Overtime Live, coming right up.